Well, good morning. Up again at 5 o'clock this morning. Been on a incredibly long walk, and thought I would quickly, rather than doing a dude video, um, because of the subject matter with Jerice later today, um, I'd like to look at this article. This is one of my favorite John Ferak articles, but in fairness, he did so many. Difficult to say that it's my absolute favorite, but um, it just shows the quality of an investigative journalist. And we see that not just in Making a Murderer, but also with the Ricky Hochstetler case. And I will share a video that the dude did about Ricky. Probably do that one tomorrow. But anyway, let's crack on and look at John Ferak's book. And hopefully the sound of me reading will be okay. And I'll use the little mouse as a pointer so that we can see where we are. At least I can. Okay, here we go. Let's move that up to the top. So here we go. This is John Ferak, and the article is Absence of Photos, Mars Avery Investigation. And this was, don't have a date there. I would say early 2016. John Ferak, USA Today Network, Wisconsin. Post Crescent, Appleton. One of the most baffling aspects of the Teresa Halbach murder investigation isn't what evidence technicians did, it's what they didn't do, forensic experts say. On multiple occasions, at multiple sites, Wisconsin law enforcement officials declined to photograph discoveries of human bones as part of the November 2005 investigation of suspect Stephen Avery. I complained about the lack of photos and the quality. It was very poor, said Scott Fairgrieve, a forensic anthropologist in Ontario. He is the chairman of the Laurentian University Forensic Science Department in Canada, who served as a defense expert witness during the 2007 murder trial. We've got very dangerous person. Cross him at your peril. And there's Scott Fairgrieve. And they are looking at some photographs there. Okay, this week, USA Today Network Wisconsin is examining some of the unusual aspects of the Halbach murder investigation. One is the absence of crime scene photos involving the victim's remains. The lack of any photos taken by law enforcement of the bones as they were found at any of the three sites has always been very puzzling. Jerry Buting, Steve's lawyer, told USA Today Network Wisconsin. The state never offered any explanation for why law enforcement officers failed to photograph the bones to show precisely how they were positioned, an elementary task in the course of such an investigation. During Steve's murder trial, disgraced former district attorney and not very special prosecutor Ken Kratz contended that Steve burned Teresa's body in the burn pit behind his garage. Without good documentation, you can't explicitly state that all of the remains were found in the pit, Fairgrieve said. Here are instances in 2005 in which investigators from Calumet and Manitowoc counties chose not to photograph crime scenes involving the recovery of human remains. Sunday morning, November the 6th, about 9:45, Calumet Sheriff's Deputy Dan Kucharski, it could have been aliens, rounded up 4 burn barrels that had drawn heightened curiosity from cadaver dogs. However, these barrels were not found in Steve's backyard, but on the property of his sister Barb, about 50 yards away. Kucharski's search team of helpers included Manitowoc County Detective, the Crackerjack detectives, Dave Remiker, James Lenk, and Andrew Colburn. Their reports did not explain why the barrels needed to be removed from the scene of a homicide. The evidence collection team group did not photograph what was inside the 4 barrels, and their reports did not describe the appearance of bones either. At a later date, photos were eventually taken at the Calumet County Sheriff's facilities, but the photos did not show the victim's bones in the barrels. Tuesday afternoon, November the 8th, at 1:40, Manitowoc Sheriff's Sergeant Jason Jost made a grisly discovery, a large vertebrae at Avery's burn pile pit, which marked the 4th day of a massive police presence at Avery's. Calumet County Lieutenant Kelly Sipple and Wisconsin DCI agent Tom Sturdivant joined Jost, and they also noticed a piece of a skull. Despite seeing a large vertebrae and parts of Teresa's skull, no photos were taken, even though this discovery occurred during broad daylight. No video recording camera equipment was utilized either. Saturday morning, November the 12th. Besides recovering Teresa's bones at the burn pit, Calumet's Sipple was involved in the recovery of another set of human bones, his reports show. But unlike the bones in the backyard burn pit, these bones weren't found at the Avery property. They came from about a quarter-mile away. The final 2 pieces would have been that of some bone and flesh located at the Mickles Materials Quarry to the northeast of the Avery property, Sipple stated in his reports. Back up a little bit. This aerial photo presented during Steve's murder trial shows the swathe of farmland and surrounding quarries. Although Calumet County Lieutenant Kelly Sipple noted that human bones were found at the Mickles Quarry, no crime scene photos were apparently taken. According to testimony, bones recovered from the Mickles Quarry appeared to be pelvic bones. Back on November 6th, Calumet Deputy Joseph Tenner's team of searchers had also come upon suspicious evidence at the same quarry. One of the dogs hit on a pile of dirt and sand north of the quarry scale, Tenner stated, where the dog alerted to, I located an item in the pile of dirt. The item was red in color, surrounded by pink material. A total 3 out of the 5 dogs alerted to the area. In any event, the reports filed by Sipple do not mention that crime scene photos were taken at the Mickles Quarry, where the additional bone fragments were found. During Steve's trial, forensic anthropologist Leslie Eisenberg of Madison testified that the bones from the quarry were suspected possible human. Fairgrieve said he's willing to give Calumet and Manitowoc deputies the benefit of the doubt. He attributes their forgetfulness to take photos to their lack of knowledge and inexperience at investigating death scenes, particularly homicides involving a badly burned body. I don't necessarily think that the police were malicious, Fairgrieve said. I find that hard to believe. But their mistake here was, because of the type of case this was and the high profile nature, they did not want to let it sit. They should have been done. What should have been done was to protect the scene until you get all your forensic experts there. But they operated out of ignorance. Brent Turvey, a nationally recognized forensic scientist in Alaska, contends that only a couple of logical reasons explain why deputies did not take photos at the three different locations in the Holbach murder probe. It's either negligence or it's intentional, he said. Sergeant Jason Jost of MTSC alerted others that he had found human bones in this burn pit not far from Stephen Avery's bedroom on the afternoon of November 8th, 2005, the fourth day of a massive police presence at the Avery property. However, Jost and others did not photograph the human bones at the time the bones were spotted and recovered. Carrying on, Brent Turvey said the sheriff's officials and investigators from Manitowoc and Calumet counties were properly trained. They had experience investigating other crimes such as burglaries, sexual assaults, drunken driving fatalities, and domestic violence, where photography is common. Moreover, the National Institute of Justice has published guidelines for processing crime scenes. These standards are followed routinely by police agencies across the country. These principles advise police to take overall photos at a scene, mid-range photos, and close-ups of physical evidence. Not just a photograph, but three different photographs, as it says there, of a scene. Mid-range photos, close-ups, to overall photos of the scene. So, a sort of wide angle, then mid-range and close-up. And as it carries on here, the idea of not photographing the evidence in the Stephen Avery case, you just can't escape that, Turvey said. It's either because of apathy, you just don't care, or corruption. They are willfully depriving the investigation of evidence in order to obscure the truth. It is not lack of training. Taking photographs at a death scene is not some mysterious art form, Turvey added. The question is, why didn't they do it in this particular case? As I say, I don't have an actual date, which is unusual, because normally there's a date at the top. Actually, maybe I can. I'm sure there's a date on my. Just open this up a moment. Oh well, there you go. Yeah, on mine, I have a time and date of 4:28 p.m. Central Time of June 28th. Sorry, so June 28th was when John Ferak wrote this particular article. Anyway, I'll pop it into the description at the bottom, and as I say, there's a recorded chat that I had with Joris 47, because he's also a bit concerned about the investigation of the cremains. So we'll catch you all again soon. Bye for now.